was there during the steroid boom, which was even bigger. I mean, steroids don't make you taller like Andre, but oh my God, some of these guys, I mean, I got to the point where I was lifting 500 pounds every time. These guys warmed up at 400 and went up to six, that kind of thing. But I had to get bigger or they were sending me home. So I started working hard. I did do a little bit of steroids. I did about a year's worth.
Thanks for
And
being honest about that.
oh yeah. And my bench press went, from just under 400 to 550 within a year. I mean,
Wow.
and for reps, I mean, not just once, I mean, just pounding it out. I've had a picture on social media where I've got, I think it's 680 pounds or 690 or something on the bar. The bar is bending and I'm just doing shoulders. I'm just shrugs.
Now, we did talk a little bit about this when we met up last year. How did steroids affect you? And I was actually, if talk a little as much as you want about it, but you did mention that a lot of people, think one way, but, sometimes you don't lose your sex drive. Sometimes you have more of a sex drive. Sometimes, but talk a little bit about that. And did you ever have road rage? I mean, not road rage, but roid rage.
Yeah, well, let me go to the roid rage first.
Sure.
Especially a lot of the guys smoked a lot of pot to keep from doing roid rage
Right? It's like
and
it's a
road
tongue
rage too.
twister.
Yeah, but it's very, very real. I had a guy screwing around behind me. I had my family in the car, and he had a big old pickup truck. I ended up getting out, walking back to him. I never hit him, but I grabbed his wrist and he hit himself probably 30 times to the face.
Oh, okay,
Oh,
because that
oh,
happens all the time. People
oh,
hitting themselves.
yeah, well, that's kind of LA. Yeah, that wasn't here, but I remember all of a sudden hearing a horn going off, and it was his head laying on the horn, and all of a sudden I was like, "Oh shit, I could be in trouble for this." And it was rush hour, cars everywhere, but everybody happened to see what he was doing. Probably nobody called the police. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Wow,
But
wow.
yes,
The
roid
the D-
rage
the
is real.
WWE gods were looking down at you.
Well, yeah, something was. I mean, but I mean, the interesting part was I didn't really realize anything until I heard that horn going off and I came back to reality. So while I'm hitting him with his own hand, um, and yelling at him, I mean, I'm like, my daughter's in that. I don't. I remember parts of it looking back, but I don't remember even thinking about it when it happened. So yeah, at that point I realized I had to get off steroids. Yeah, the upside, sexual drive was through the roof. You hear a lot of the rumors, oh, you're going to be sterile. Well, like guys like Hercules, who was a big WWF star, I think he had 6 or 7 kids. Like he
Ooh,
said, every time I go home, I get the wife pregnant. So,
I wonder why.
sterile? No. Sex drive? Yeah. For me, it was through the roof. That was kind of fun, big ego boost. But also, it wasn't good. And I ended up having to go off. I missed the part. One of the things maybe I didn't or did tell you or didn't. My diet at the time was 15,000 calories a day. I'm
Whoa.
talking 7 full meals plus snacks.
Wow.
Um,
Wow.
that's how much energy I was chewing up with that and everything else we did. So yeah, that part was through the roof too. And I kind of miss those days because I could eat anything and not gain an ounce, and everything
Yeah, I'm
just went to
sure.
muscle. Yeah, I know. Now, um, so there were a lot of benefits, but I never was on it that heavy. Some guys, were 5, 10 times more than I did. I was scared to death of it. It took me probably an hour to do the first needle myself. I don't like needles.
Wow. So we're not recommending it on this show. We're
No,
just talking about your experience with
yes,
steroids.
exactly. And
Okay.
I don't recommend it to anybody. I mean, steroids were originally not maybe not originally, but they're given out to seniors quite often to keep their size and strength up. So if you're giving it to people that are on the weaker side of life to help them maintain something, there must not be a whole lot of bad effects to it if done properly. Now, if you want to, any of your fans, go to a doctor, see what they'll do. More than likely, they will not do it. But I know that in this day and age, um, I think it's testosterone pills is what doctors are giving out, and you see it advertised all the time. I went and got checked, because I had to do all my normal checks, and my testosterone was naturally through the roof. So doctor's like, yeah, yeah, you don't need anything. You could give some half of yours to somebody else and still be normal. But
Wow.
but anyways, yeah, if you're gonna try something, don't do black market. Go to a doctor, see what they'll do. If that doctor doesn't, and you really want to try another doctor, um, um, yeah, it is what I had to do at the time because I needed to be bigger. And at the time, I was probably 230, and I ended up going to 245 and losing probably another 10 pounds of fat. I mean, I was pretty well shredded at the time. I mean, I wasn't quite like Ultimate Warrior, but I was close or closer.
Yeah, I've seen pictures and definitely I'm going to put them up for those who are going to be watching the podcast. Thank you for those, by the way. I appreciate it. And, thank you for being so candid about your experience and things that you've done because, I mean, so many of the wrestlers, they just deny, deny, deny. And now they're like, okay, yeah, we have to come clean. Yeah, absolutely come clean because if you're not honest, you don't get that respect and then you can't go back from that. So I really appreciate you doing that.
Well,
Um,
one of the things I was first taught in wrestling school by my buddy Dan Rignati, who was training me, he told me, your word is worth gold
mhm,
until you break it once. Then it's worth nothing ever again. So I always
absolutely.
tried to live by that. And it's like, no, I'll be honest, I'll be truthful. I mean, it hasn't I mean, it's sometimes not a nice way to do things. I mean, I've had girls when I was dating, and it's like, sorry, I'm not in love with you. You know, boom. You know, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna BS.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna blow smoke up your behind. This is the way it is. Sorry.
Yeah.
And a lot of them, will go, "You're so mean." No, I'm just being honest. I'm sorry. So that's what I try to do. And, for everybody out there, honesty is the best policy. Um, you try not to hurt people and don't do it maliciously, but, it's like, be honest, it's easier, makes life so much easier.